Listen. You smell something?
Oh, hello, Roanoke. Welcome to T-Bone's Best of Roanoke show, where we go after the best people, places, and things to do in our fair city. Big thanks to our studio band and my special guest host, Mr. G. Now, on with the show. If you came down to beautiful downtown Roanoke, walked over to the Hotel Roanoke, stepped across Shenandoah Avenue, you would walk up the steps into the O. Winston Link Museum, and boom, you'd be right in front of the Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge welcome desk. And we're so happy to be here today with the Vice President of Public Affairs and Destination Development, Catherine Fox. Catherine, thank you for having Mr. G and myself into your location today.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about the mission overview of Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge. You know, the location is here at the O. Winston Link Museum, but tell us a little bit about your mission overview.
The organization, Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge, represents a larger region, and our goal and our role is to be the official destination marketing organization. So our role is to bring in visitors from outside of the area to overall spend many days here. It could be 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights. And then the investment provided to us by the local jurisdictions, being the cities of Roanoke and Salem, Roanoke County, Botetourt County, Franklin County, invest in us to then have us invest in bringing more visitors here. Therefore, they leave their money, whether it be lodging tax revenues or, and in doing that, they also increase employment in the area too. So those are the two main qualifiers for what we do, is to really have the money from the lodging tax revenues go back to those jurisdictions. Again, their investment into us, we give them several times over, and then also creates more jobs.
As a local businessman, do you have return on investment numbers for those municipalities?
So we can give you an overall travel expenditures for the region in 2016 was $813 million.
Wow.
We're, it's a group effort. We have 1,300 partners who work with us and are all represented on our website. And with that, we're able to give the visitor a glimpse of what they can see and do here in this region. And we try to package it and give them those ideas of what's available. So when it comes to the revenues, an overall revenue figure is $813 million, and that's for 2016. Our budget is just over $3 million, but the hotel room revenue for 2016 was $101 million, and that's for all of the jurisdictions.
Impressive. Is there more room for hotels downtown? Is there a need for more rooms downtown?
That's a very good question. We've seen that the Hampton Inn that came on board last year has done exceedingly well. With that, you would think that another hotel or two could perhaps see the same type of results. The first thought that comes to mind is Amtrak is a great provider for walkability. And when you get off the train or get on the train, then you have the ability to walk to your hotel. Mm-hmm. Not to mention how walkable the downtown is, and all the fabulous things that you can do just in a very core area.
I've lived here for 31 years, and I think Mr. G there's maybe, he doesn't go further than 5 miles from Williamson Road. So I think it'd be interesting to hear what other people say about our area, because we're baked in the culture and the vibe around here. But what do other people think about our area? Do you get any feedback on that?
The latest feedback is all about the Amtrak. We're seeing, and hearing people how excited they are that they can get on the train here and be here, and it's a little simpler for that. We're finding that there's a lot of college students who are able to utilize the service as well. So I think here and now we're hearing more about how Amtrak has been a real true new method of transportation. But we're also hearing from the airport as well. We're looking for some westward hubs, whether it be Detroit, Dallas, or Denver. Those are some of the interests that the airport is looking at going after. We had a lot of people interested in the Blue Ridge Parkway. A good reason why we reframed our branding to Virginia's Blue Ridge. The Appalachian Trail, McAfee Knob, a lot of it is outdoors. They are really, truly enjoying the outdoors. But the craft beer has really, really taken off. I think that there's a market of folks who have an interest and a following for the craft beer. So some of the things that we're really going after are right now, mountain biking. Is very much an interest on getting a ride center here, as well as blending in that craft beer messaging as well. We are getting ready to announce a strong emphasis on sports. In that regard, we're very good at hosting football, basketball, softball, soccer, lacrosse, hockey, a lot of the sports that you might be aware of. But what about disc golf? What about Quidditch? What about the United States Tennis Association, which we hosted our first tournament here in June, and we got our foot in the door, and we're looking to host more. Spartan races. We're looking at CrossFit. So there are a multitude of facilities in this region that we have are untapped, and we want to really start to bolster that. So we have actually identified an individual just to go after more sports. It's a great revenue generator.
I'm thinking 2020 Super Bowl, Mr. G. What do you
Could happen.
Could happen. Well, one of the first times I really became engaged and really grasped what was going on here with Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge was when I heard about your Bikes, Beer, and Brains campaign on the radio. And I came down here to buy a T-shirt, and I was engaged with one of your volunteers, and they just knew so much about the area, and they were so passionate about what they did and how they were ambassadors. And it just was very impressive to me. And that's what made me decide to pursue you as a guest today. But tell us a little bit about the Bikes, Beer, and Brains campaign, how that came about, and what's going on with that.
Well, a lot of residents, and I'm a resident, I'm a native, I love this area, and sometimes we find ourselves, it's just ho-hum. But I've been in this opportunity to see us really start to raise the awareness, raise the excitement, really feel good about what we have here, and those changes are happening, and there's a lot of excitement. So what we wanted to do was really start to escalate that messaging. When you have the opportunity to take the resources that are here in your region, and mountain biking being one of them, Carbons Cove to Mill Mountain to the next phase of Explore Park and being an outdoor destination. These are some things that we want passionate mountain bikers to know about our area and to put ourselves on the map. We are working with the International Mountain Bicycling Association, IMBA, and partnering with the local chapter, RIMBA, to host reviewers here. As a matter of fact, they're here now, and they are operating on the fact that they are looking and reviewing how we measure up to a status, and we're looking at either a bronze, silver, or gold level. So we're hoping to get that message, or at least that feedback here pretty soon, as they review us. So that's the biking part of it. Now, I also want to mention that the road cycling here is great. I mean, we've got some wonderful lanes, greenways. A lot of the connections are happening. I'm a road cyclist. Love the ability to go on and off the greenways and onto the roads. And I think that culture has really grown too with the greenways and the capacity there. So biking is a big part of that, and we're excited. Even the Zagster with the if you're able to rent a bike while you're here. So these are some components that really are starting to raise the awareness of the biking community here. So I think that was part of our emphasis. The beer, it's really, I think it speaks for itself. We're on what we think is our 15th craft brewery in the area, and I'm very excited that so many of our breweries have paved that way. Big Lick, growing to the level that they've grown to, and opening their new location, and bringing in with the Deschutes decision to come here in Ballast Point. But Parkway really started a big trend here. Soaring Ridge, I could name so many. Old Salem Brewing that just opened up on Main Street in Salem.
Yes.
And Star Hill, certainly in the Bridges area. So there are a number of breweries that have cropped up in Sunken City, Chaos Mountain. I could go on Flying Mouse. So the interest and the excitement is here for craft beer, and then that has become a really interesting way to draw people here. And you're seeing people locally enjoying it as much as people are coming in to take advantage of that. So that's really a new talking point as well.
Yeah,
who came up with the rather edgy slogan there? I mean, I think that really hits on the new vibe in Roanoke. I had no clue, honestly, what Virginia's Blue Ridge Bikes, Beer, and Brains was, but that's impressive.
Initially it became more of a sub-brand for internal marketing purposes, because again, it's about, if we're going to be connecting visitors with our residents here, we want them to be and hear that excitement that we're telling visitors about how exciting it is to come here. Then when they get here, they want to know that the residents are resonating that same message. So this was a way to help get that positive momentum in the form of a new and exciting look.
Yeah, I think it's very nice. How do you get the word out even more, even though your advertisements are probably not geared locally? I imagine they're geared outside of the area, but that's so catchy that I think it does need maybe a little more screaming locally.
Well, that's a good part of why I think our friend Tim here is really looked at that as a message point, and whether it be radio or a T-shirt or a cup or resonating, with our local media, we're certainly working on getting that message point out.
Well, one last point on that equation before we get to the brain part of that equation. Do you have any people that misinterpret it as bikes plus beer equals brain? Or has that come up at all, Kathy?
I think what came up initially was the order.
Okay.
Should it be bikes? Should it be beer, bikes, brains, or what's the order? I think that's been the bigger part of it. And of course, our message is ride your bike, have a beer, and that relaxes your brain.
Oh.
So there's the combination. There's your combination there.
Okay, well, we could do that. We could try that. We're willing to volunteer for that.
There's your formula.
And then I imagine brains had something to do maybe too with the medical center.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If we want to really get and resonate on a national level, the brains part of the research that's happening here is getting us identified in that way. So with the not just it's the addition that's planned, the future of bringing more students here. It's really a message point that we felt was very strong. In addition to that, we feel that the medical community could potentially be a good source of medical meetings or healthcare meetings. So if we wanted to bring people here to showcase the region, but bring them here for medical or healthcare meetings,
Yes.
and we could host more people here, and again, that brings in our overnight formula.
Yes.
What we are trying to do is, let's say Lewis Gale is recruiting a new doctor, or Carillion is recruiting a new doctor, or we're trying some of our major emphasis in corporations here are looking to bring in talent. We want them to know that this is a very fun, cool environment. So when they say in any conversation, hey, how's your mountain biking? Well, by the way, we're a bronze level ride center, and we have excellent riding here. Well, how do we get here? I have the opportunity. Well, Amtrak is another option as well. So what do people do while they're here? Well, they love going to the Todman or to a theater performance or to listen to a performance at the Harvester, or just hang out and shop in downtown or any one of our area farmers markets. So what are we doing to really connect the dots to help to get that message out there? So if our message points are outside of the area and they're hearing and seeing us a number of times, then that helps recruit the talent that will eventually bring that business here. One of the models that we like so much is it's all in a visit. And when we did our destination vision plan, it indicates that a visit is the first decision that someone makes to either relocate here or want to live here. So we always say that we're economic development's first date. So the impression that we leave is the impression they take away. And when you talk about Hung or Deschutes or any of the the players that come here, we need to be that welcome mat, and that's what we're looking towards doing. And so that's a little bit of the discussion point.
It's a tough thing. You have to have the draw in order to draw. So I guess first things first.
Yes.
You have to have it to where they're enticed to come here. So.
Absolutely.
Now this.
Hey, know a good topic or person for the show?
Contact us on email or Instagram at T-Bone's Best of Roanoke Show.
Now, back to the show!
Okay, we're here with Catherine Fox, Vice President of Public Affairs and Destination Development, Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge. And you mentioned before, Catherine, the area that, for the purposes of your organization, what the Blue Ridge is. Could you repeat that?
Absolutely. We represent 5 core jurisdictions, and that would be the city of Roanoke, the city of Salem, and the counties of Roanoke, Botetourt, and Franklin.
Okay.
In addition to that, we have over 1,350 partners that are a part of our organization. So we represent them to the visitor, so it's a connection point.
Okay, and as a casual observer, you mentioned the Appalachian Trail was probably one of your most inquired about destinations. What are your other maybe top 2 or 3 destinations that people are curious about?
Absolutely. You go with those national known names, and the Blue Ridge and the Blue Ridge Parkway are a big part of that. Smith Mountain Lake, Virginia Tech comes up when people are looking to place us. So that's why we changed our name from the Roanoke Valley to Virginia's Blue Ridge. When we rebranded, it was the emphasis by folks who were trying to put us together. They wanted to position us, and when you think of Virginia and you think of the Blue Ridge, you certainly have this beautiful vision or image in your head. So we wanted to say that because we're the largest metropolitan area west of Richmond, and we wanted to position ourselves that way. Mm-hmm. So the Blue Ridge Parkway brings in people internationally and nationally. So that's how we are known for our area. And then the Appalachian Trail puts us back on the map as well. What do people come in? They resonate now, and again, going back to those 5 key areas that we're working on is our outdoors, what we have and the amenities that are here, right down to the Roanoke River and the James River and all the amenities that are offered there. and then you look at the downtown core area. We have people coming in who resonate with Black Dog Salvage because they've seen it on a national level and international level. So those are some of the things that are really starting to and have changed the idea of who and what we are. Trains are still a big emphasis. The 611 helped, again, the rail heritage has been a key part of who and what we are, and that hasn't gone away.
Right.
But what can we do to enhance our initial markets? What's going to be the hook to get them here? In the Blue Ridge Parkway, the craft beer, the sports, those are all things that put us on the map.
And there's a lot going on. Matter of fact, today when we walked in here, there was, like I said earlier, there was a blizzard of children here. Tell us what they were here for.
So the holidays are a big time to celebrate, and celebrating any time of year is important, but this particular time of year, there's a holiday celebration called Fantasyland here. We share a space in the former Norfolk and Western Railway passenger station that was built in 1905. And we have the privilege of having our visitor center here, located on the corner of Shenandoah and Williamson Road. And within the same building that resides would be the Owen Stanley Museum and the History Museum. And they have a unique opportunity to showcase a long time event called Fantasyland for the holidays, and that brings Santa to the building. And so he is in fact the one who has brought all of these little ones to our building today.
The big man is in the house.
He is. He absolutely is.
Well, very good. And then the volunteer program, could you just tell us a little bit about the volunteer program? The people I've talked to on the phone, they were so enthusiastic, and the people I've met at your front desk are such good ambassadors. Who are you looking for, and what would a person do if they were interested in being a volunteer?
So an enthusiastic person who absolutely loves being and living here is it. We oftentimes have always looked for people who've lived here a long time, but that's changed because there are people who've gotten to know this area quite quickly and have fallen in love with it, and those are the people who become the best ambassadors, who really have a sense and an understanding and an interest to learn more about the region. And this is a great way to do that. Our visitor center here is open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. 7 days a week. We typically close on Thanksgiving, but we open for the Drumstick Dash. So we were open and welcoming visitors on Thanksgiving. We will be closed Christmas Day and New Year's Day, and we close Easter. And then we do shortened hours on Sundays in January and February, only on Sundays. Again, so we are open every day. So we always say that we can be the greatest resource for you if you want to get family out of the house and find them something to do. We'll connect them with an activity or something to do.
That's a good point. Where people come in to visit or family come in for the holidays, they can use you
as a resource. Absolutely. We've always relied heavily on websites, and there are 24/7 visitor information, which is so true, but sometimes it's great to hear it from the folks who've gotten the questions time and time again and get a little bit of a different spin on what there might be to do that you hadn't thought of.
Any sense of where people come from that use your service, or is there a certain region of America that's really tunes in to coming here, or is there certain countries that like to come here? Any sense of that?
Probably more on the domestic level. We see, and those are our target markets, which would be our friends to the south in North Carolina. Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh area are big target markets for us. Also, Northern Virginia is a big target market. We're going to be searching for more opportunities to connect with the Northern Virginia market now that Amtrak is certainly a good way to really focus in on our message points in the DC, Alexandria area, because that's where Amtrak makes their stops. We also look in the Tidewater area. I know that I'm a big beach fan, but I love living in the mountains, and people who are at the beach love to come and vacation in the mountains. So we look for folks who are interested in that. But the corridors along Interstate 81 are typically our feeder markets. If you look up and down Interstate 81, it's all about accessibility, and that makes a big difference. But our key is when they see Roanoke on the big sign, when they're traveling down Interstate 81, what's going to make them come into the area and really discover this region. So what are they going to do? So when they see Roanoke, they see Botetourt, they see Salem, what does that mean to them? And so hopefully they're thinking that this would be a great opportunity to make us a stop.
Well, I'm going to let Mr. G and you have the last word, but before I do that, looking ahead in the crystal ball for 2018, 2019, 2020, are there any big things coming down the road that you guys are going to want to promote for visitors that they might be interested in coming to our area? Any other new things coming down the pike?
Absolutely. We touched on Explore Park, and what potential is there is incredible. When you look at Explore Park as a destination attraction, whether it be off the Blue Ridge Parkway or just coming here, it will really be an amazing opportunity to take the topography and the terrain that exists and how to utilize it to the outdoor amenities that have been illustrated in the master plan. So I think that's really part of our focus. Really, the sports part of is a big focus of ours. We really see that there is a huge untapped arena in sports to the facilities that we have. So we'll be working on those in the next year to year and a half, certainly starting to build on that messaging and building more on the reputation that's already here. The Stag Bowl amazingly has been here 25 years. That is so rare for any area to host a championship in the NCAA for that length of time. And kudos to them for being a part of that.
Yes.
And really getting our reputation for sports out there. So that's amazing. So I would say sports, I think that the Explore Park, I think the Greenway connections, we are focused in on the Blueways. The Roanoke River Blueway is really come together as well. Upper James River Water Trail is another strong amenity. I think we'll get our arms wrapped around these breweries and maybe more distilleries on the way. So I think that it's definitely a changing climate, and tourism is something that a lot of our communities have started to hang their hat on, and we just want to make sure that what makes us unique and different, and that's what we're going to be striving for.
Excellent.
I think there's kudos to you all too, Catherine. Oftentimes when Tim and I do research for the show, it'll usually involve beer and then eventually brains. And when you ask others, at the bar, as we do our homework, where are you from? You hear a lot of young people say they're from Philadelphia, they're from Detroit. Roanoke is carrying a vibe that Raleigh had for a very long time. And you're starting to see that here, where these people, they absolutely love Roanoke. And they're proud to be here. And I can't say that it used to always be that way. It used to be if you got promoted to Roanoke, that wasn't always such a good thing. But now I think, you're seeing that crest, and, just fantastic job.
Yes.
Well, it's great to see it evolve.
Yes.
Over the years, having an opportunity to watch it evolve and to see a younger audience start to really build off of it. And for a long time, we've always wanted to maintain and keep the workforce here, the younger folks who have grown up here, and the talent that has sometimes escaped from this region. And to keep that talent here, we're really seeing an opportunity to do that.
Well, thank you again, Catherine, for having us here. I think we're going to go see if there's any more T-shirts of bikes, beers, and brains left.
Absolutely, they're here at this building. If anyone should want one,
In the Winston Link Museum.
at the gift shop at the Winston Link Museum, they are on sale.
And matter of fact, let's get one for Santa. Maybe that'll help us out. Okay, thank you so much.
Happy to be a part of this, and thank you so much for thinking of us and including us.
You got it.
Thank you.
I've been to Pittsburgh, Parkersburg, Gravelburg, Colorado, Ellensburg, Rexburg, Vicksburg, Eldorado, Larimore, Atmore, Haverstraw, Chattanooga, Chastity, Nebraska, Alaska, Opelika, Baraboo, Waterloo, Kalamazoo, Kansas City, Sioux City, Cedar City, Dodge City. What a pity. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere.